Hello, everybody. It's Crypto Caesar Capital. Hope you're well. It's the 8th of January, 2023. Just a quick look at Bitcoin on the weekly chart. And in this video, I just want to express how important it is for Bitcoin really to start trending or trading above the sort of 19K, 19.2, 19.3K region. I'll explain to you why now. Essentially, during the summer period, we were able to hold this area of around about 19K or so. I mean, you know, it's about 18.5, 18.6, but I think it's safe to say it's around about the 19K kind of region. And we were able to hold that really well. Okay, we came down in June and then we poked up above it and we held it all the way through June, July, August, September, October, but then unfortunately in November, the FTX saga caused us to break down below it. So that was what we could call the summer support. And unfortunately, the summer support has now become what we could call, I suppose, the winter resistance, because we tried to break up above it and we got rejected pretty harsh. And we're now trading below at about 17 or 16.9. So we have what was the summer support, which has now become the winter resistance. And of course, when we look left on the weekly chart, we can see that the all-time high for Bitcoin back in December of 2017 was around about this area. So we were holding this area as support. Okay, that was obviously a huge area of resistance for Bitcoin back in 2017, but then we were holding it as support. Okay, also, interestingly enough, if we put the bull market support band onto the chart, the bull market support band is the 20-week SMA and the 21-week EMA. We put that onto the chart, we can see that is basically confluent with the idea that this area of 19K or 19.2 is really quite important, because if you take a look, pretty much the top of the bull market support band is that area of around 19K, 19.2, and the bottom of the bull market support band around 18.3. So it's really quite important, this area of resistance, okay, to get above it, because it's telling us now that this is a really, really important area. Also, if we put the fixed range volume profile over it, or the POC is the point of control. And essentially, what the point of control does is it measures the fixed range volume from the point of which you set it to present, okay, or wherever you want to go. So we're going to take ours from the 22nd of June 2020 to present, okay. And if you overlay that, you can see that the point of control, or the most volume that was traded between the beginning of that big run in June 20 to now, was the 19K region. Okay, so we've got the point of control sitting at 19K. We've got the bull market support band, top of it sitting at 19.2, bottom of it sitting at 18.5 or 4 or so. And we've got this area of what was support, but now is resistance. So trending above this area is really, really important. Okay, for me, if we can trend above this area, so if we can essentially, let's have a look. If we could trade above this area here of resistance and turn it into support, so if we can get above it, okay, and then sort of say to ourselves, right, we've made 2 weekly or 3 weekly closes above it, or a weekly close above it, then the general likelihood is that we've now turned this area, which was once resistance, into support. And I think then we could say with quite some fairly high certainty that the bottom for Bitcoin is in, because generally speaking, also with the bull market support band, once you start trading above the bull market support band, you can see down here in 2019, once you trade above it, you generally trade above it for some time. Okay, we came a little bit below it for a while in 2019, but we certainly got back above it. But then unfortunately, COVID brought us below it. If the COVID low didn't happen, we would have continued, in my view, to trade above it. And you can see down here as well, back in 2015, once we get above these two moving averages, we generally sort of trade above it for quite a considerable amount of time. So getting above this area of 19K is really, really important to me. In relation to where we are now, I mean, the low is here around about 15.3. My view is that if we can hold this range between 15.3 or whatever it is to 19k. If we can hold this range for the rest of January, possibly a week or two into February, then I think it's more probable than not that the bottom is in. But as I said a moment ago, if we can trade above this area of resistance and get above that couple of weekly candle closes above it, or maybe 2 or 3, that would be more of a higher likelihood that the bottom was in. And I could say with a little bit more certainty that the bottom was in for Bitcoin. If we can't hold this area of about 15.2, 15.3, then I'm sure you all know the levels below. Okay, let's have a look at them. The first is 14k, because it was this, looking left, going back in history, it was this June 2019 high, which is about 14k. That's the first area of support. The second area of support is around sort of the 12k region, around about here, because it was that high and this high, which were acting as resistance, which we can now sort of assume will be support. And the next below that is about the 10k region, because it was the high in February and the high in May. So basically levels below are 14, 12, 10. Important level to get above is 19k or 19.2. If we can trend above 19.2, then I think we could safely say that the bear market or the bottom is behind us, and Bitcoin will start slowly grinding either sideways or to the upside through 2023 and 2024. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe as usual. If you're interested in joining the VIP group, the link's in the description. DM me on Twitter is probably the easiest way to go if you'd like to join the group. Obviously, we think it's one of the best groups in the business, and it's certainly extremely cheap for what you get in the group. Okay, take care, have a good weekend, and signing out.